everybody. My name is Sherry, if you don't know me, and this is the PR Huddle. And today I have my best friend slash potential co-host, if this goes well, we'll see here, Stephen Tulloch.
Thank you, man. I'm so proud of you, man. It's cool to
Oh, now I'm
see.
gonna cry already.
No, don't cry, man. But it's a lot of people don't know kind of how it all started,
Yeah,
going back to 2011 and the grind, even for you, for on a personal level, like
yeah.
from Detroit to Houston and
Ugh,
what you've created here, and the grind that we went through in Detroit, building the Operation 55 that you helped create, and taking our foundation to a whole nother planet. Now with
literally.
Circle House Coffee and all my other business that I have, man. Super proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of you too.
Appreciate
I
it.
feel like we should have had tissues because now I'm gonna cry. He makes me cry a lot in a good way, but this is my best friend. So
Yeah, love. Yeah.
wait, Jameis taught me how to cry, not cry when I have
You gotta
makeup
hold it
on.
back.
Yeah, like hold your breath and then breathe out. So, I wanted to do this for the reasons you just said. I felt like when I started, I guess we can go back and just say how we met,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
2011, it was August 2011 during Detroit Lions
August
training
2nd.
camp.
Yep,
It was
yep.
August 2nd.
Hmm.
Oh, good job, you
Training
remember.
camp. Yep.
Training camp at the hotel. Because if you guys don't know, I call training camp jail, football jail, because you have to live in the hotel for a month. And Coach Schwartz,
Hmm.
we met because of Jim Schwartz, who's like a legendary coach. We both love him.
Hmm.
The coach that drafted you, right?
Hmm.
So for those of you or people that don't know who you are,
Mm.
you know, what year were you drafted? Tell me a little bit about like obviously where you're
Yeah,
from, and let's just get a little background because obviously I know you, but not everybody else
yeah,
does.
yeah, yeah. Cool. Yeah. So my mom and dad are from Jamaica. I was
Hmm.
born in Miami. Went to North Carolina State University for college. After my third year in college, I entered the NFL draft early as an underclassman.
Hmm.
Got drafted in the first in 2006, fourth round, 116th pick to the Tennessee Titans, where Jim Schwartz was at. He drafted me, brought me to Nashville.
Yep.
Played 5 years for the Tennessee Titans.
Yep.
As a free agent, went to Detroit Lions, signed another 5 year contract with them. And then I obviously played for the Philadelphia Eagles for my last year. The year before they won the Super Bowl,
And then
which
I know, I
I
was
missed
so
it by
mad
a
about
year.
that.
Yeah. So
We did not get to go to those
no,
playoff
no,
games, and I
no,
was
it's
so
all good.
mad. I didn't get to ever
Yeah,
go with you to a
but it's
playoff
been a
game.
hell of a journey, man, on a football tip, and obviously converting that from to business with real estate and coffee and the whole nine.
Yeah, so what's crazy, you guys, is I didn't even know how to probably say his name, and I'm sure he didn't even know who I was when we met, 'cause, Coach Schwartz's assistant, K-Bob,
Yeah,
Carrie Ann,
carry on. Yeah,
she was just such a good connector,
yeah.
and when he got to Detroit, one of the things Steven said is, "I need to get in the community," and I
Hmm.
was like, "Okay," so she called me, and that's how we met, and I was just kind of like, "What's your number on your jersey?" And it was
Right.
55.
Yep.
Double nickel. He
Yep.
is a middle linebacker, captain of the team. But at first, you did sign a 1 year with Detroit,
Yep.
and I was sweating because I thought you were gonna leave
Yeah,
before that big contract. I
it's
was
funny.
like, "Please, God,
It's
don't
funny
let him
because in
leave
Detroit, as a free agent, people used to say you go to Detroit to
to
die.
die."
Your career, your career's coming to an end. You're gonna steal a couple million. You're gonna get up out of there.
That's it.
But Coach Schwartz, what he did there when he brought me and Kyle Vanderbosch and all these players over from Tennessee,
Yeah,
he changed the culture to what you see now in Detroit playoff team. Like he was the starting of that.
I believe that.
And so now Detroit's one of the hottest teams. They're America's football team now. They say Cowboys, but
Oh,
it's really Detroit.
we are not
But
Cowboys
but
fans.
he's built that culture, and now Detroit is, as you know, is on fire.
Man, we go to a lot of games.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, Steven signed a 1 year deal, and I think I was on the plane coming back from an event with the Rams, and I saw you sign from Drew. You texted me, and you were
Hmm.
like locked in, and I was
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
thank God, because what we started, y'all, is something called Operation 55,
Hmm.
which is actually our thing. He had the Stephen Tulloch Foundation when we met, and he was just like, "Sherry, get creative. Like, do whatever you want. I'll do it." And to me, that was cool because not a lot of people give you that creative freedom. And he didn't know me from Adam. And I'm gonna tell you guys, it took a couple years for him to trust me.
Yeah. 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 I don't trust many people. So yeah,
I mean, it
took a
took you
while.
a solid 2 seasons
Yeah.
to probably get the house key,
Right. Right.
yeah, and the
Right.
dogs. And so, but we quickly became best friends. Like, this is my family. I rock with Steven no matter what, good, bad, ugly. We've been through it all. So as we connected, the first thing we ever did was take 55 kids to a game. And I think that a lot of people see the glamour of the NFL and
Hmm.
they see game day,
Hmm.
but they don't see in the first part of your season, right? Of your life, what happens behind the scenes through injuries.
Hmm.
We can talk about it if you want.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh through your charity efforts, the,
Right.
the the money you not only invest into your body but into your brand.
Right.
And I think that the reason I wanted to talk to people like you is, you're a very big success story. Where you grew up sleeping in a nursing home while your mom was working overnight to literally being one of the most successful guys off the field
Right,
at this
right.
point is crazy. And it's amazing. And it's something that I said, and you know this, like, I don't think people understand the grind. I think they
Yeah,
just see the glamour, right?
absolutely.
They see the highlight reel on Instagram,
Yeah,
but do we really see
right,
everyday stuff
right.
like the 6 a.m. calls and all of that? So while Stephen played, we won the Walter Payton Award 4 times, which means you were voted the most community-focused player. It is the biggest off-the-field award you can get in the NFL, and he won it 5 times. And we also won the Byron Whizzer White Award, which is right there that I keep. He is not allowed to take that one home because you took the other ones.
Yeah,
So I keep some of the awards because I feel like it was definitely a team effort. And if it goes missing at my house, I know who
you
took
know
it.
we got it,
I know,
right.
but you cannot take that one. Um, what we did with Operation 55 is Stephen had a friend named John,
Mhm,
and I think a lot of this stemmed from your mother and John,
mhm,
right?
yeah,
And so, what I also like people to understand when you see a player doing something, most of the time it's something they actually care about.
right.
Because if you don't care about it,
You're
then
not
why
gonna be
would you do
invested
it?
in it,
You're not
right.
going to be invested in it. And so throughout his career, we can talk about all the amazing things. His friend John was diagnosed with childhood cancer, which it is September, and it's Childhood Cancer Awareness Month this month. And his mother with education and how he grew, up to getting your first laptop from her boss.
Yep, yep.
And throughout the years, Operation 55 became like a phenomenon in Detroit.
Mhm,
We took over 8,000 women and children affected by cancer to Detroit Lions games.
right.
We paid for bills, paid for funerals, unfortunate
Christmas.
Christmas, adopted 55 families. So we were when he says we were in the grind, we were in the grind,
Mhm,
people. Um,
mhm.
and then you retired, as everyone does. I mean, but let me back up. What do you feel like in football transition to help you in business now?
Oh, man. So, obviously, let's start back, right? I
Yeah,
started playing when I was 6 years old. So from 6 years old to 32, I played football every year
of your life.
of my life.
Yeah,
All right. I think obviously my mom and dad divorced when I was younger. And football was kind of like my safe haven, right? It's a place where I went to where I can block out all the noise and I was a real hyperactive kid.
you're still
Yeah, I'm still
hyperactive.
hyper, but
Yeah.
I control it a little bit now more than I have when I
No,
was
he
younger.
doesn't.
But but football was just an outlet for me,
Yeah,
and just a way to channel my energy and just be able to just be free.
yeah,
And I could never imagine starting at 6 years old to playing 11 years in the NFL and having the career that I had, and then I'll transition to business. But I think football taught me discipline,
okay.
consistency,
Hmm.
and to outwork everybody. Right? You and I work kind of the same way. Where
Yeah,
I'll send an email at 2, 3 in the morning.
and I'll reply at
You
5.
reply, right? I'll stay up late. I'll come early. I'll leave late.
We do.
There's no job bigger than me, right? I'll take
Never.
out the trash or whatever you need me to do. I'm gonna get it done. If I gotta run to UPS to drop off a package, I'm gonna do it.
You
You
do.
know,
And he does those
so I
things.
don't mind doing it because I understand that you got to chip away at greatness, and it's about the process, not the journey. So I enjoy the process of building things. As you know, I'm very creative. If I put my mind to something, most likely it's going to happen. It takes
Yes,
time, but it's gonna happen because I
it's
know
gonna
that I'm gonna
happen.
create the right team. And it's not just me; it's the team like yourself and people who we have on our team that help things move. Right, team
Mhm.
together, one achieves more. So if you have a solid team, you're able to move faster. It's hard to move by yourself when you have a team around you. Things kind of fall into place, which it has.
So you were the captain of almost every football team you were
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
Do you think, as someone that's trying to get into business, because I think there's some people might say, yeah, you guys have a business, but
right,
you had money. You didn't have money at first
right.
when you got to the NFL, did you? I mean, you were a
No,
college kid. We didn't have NIL back then, right?
no, no. My I had Pell Grant. So every semester we got $2,025. That's
That's
how
it.
we lived.
Each semester.
Each semester.
Whew.
That's kind of how we lived. And we had a little card. We go to the store and grab some food. We
Yep.
go to the dining hall. We'll get like Tupperware and a book bag and just throw a bunch of stuff in the Tupperware and put it in our fridge. And that's how we survived in college. Nowadays, a regular scholarship player is getting 15, 20,000 a year.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, or more,
Or
right?
more. You know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
yeah. I think
Yeah.
like what was it? It's Peyton Manning's
Yeah.
son
What, four,
or
5 million or
niece
something like
or
that?
nephew, niece, nephew.
Yeah.
Peyton's nephew is at Texas. And I think he said he got 8 million in NIL this year.
Crazy. Yeah.
Crazy. I mean, you were making that your fifth year,
Right.
right?
I didn't get that until about my fourth,
Your
fifth
fourth,
year.
fifth
Yeah.
year when you got your big contract.
Yeah.
Um, I think that if you were to tell someone that's wanting to start a brand, and
Yeah.
I know what I would say,
Hmm.
but what would be like the first thing that comes to mind if they're like, Steven, I have this dream. and I wanna start a car wash. What would you say?
Well, I think first and foremost, you got to be committed to the process. I kind of use my example. Right? When I first bought my first property in Fort Lauderdale and I created the brand Circle House Coffee, I was like, I'm not going to invest all this money into a business without understanding it. So I invested in myself to go to coffee school in Seattle, to Seattle Barista Academy to learn coffee.
You did.
Right? I want to understand what it's about. So you want to invest your time in learning. Put time and energy into learning what it is before you invest this capital into it. Then you want to find out mitigate your risk. Right? You have plan A, plan B. Right? You never want to just go all eggs in one basket. Plan A, this is it.
Yeah,
It's going to happen. But what if plan B happens? What do you fall back on?
right.
In my position, a little bit different where I own my real estate. So I created Sir Cost Coffee in my property so I can mitigate my risk, knowing that if things didn't work out, I can rent my property out and be okay. So it's just example of how you mitigate your risk as you challenge yourself into entrepreneurship because it's not easy. Not everybody's built for entrepreneurship.
So you mentioned coffee,
Mhm.
which I feel like we can talk about
Yeah,
because that's a thing and
right,
everyone knows,
right.
his coffee's amazing. There's some people behind the camera right now that are obsessed with it. And what moment was it that made you choose coffee? Because you could have really went and to be quite honest, retired and just been hanging out on a boat right now,
Mhm,
right? And I feel like one thing I think I've learned about football players and specific athletes is when he mentioned he played football every year since you were 6.
mhm.
One thing I see about you specifically is consistency and structure.
Right,
And I think people get into a business and they think, I'm going to do this
right.
and it's going to be okay. I can wake up at 9.
Absolutely.
I mean, I personally don't think that if you wanna be the best, I
Right.
don't think that that's possible.
No,
No,
not at all.
you don't either. Yeah, I think we agree on that. I think that I always tell people I'll work anybody, which you know. Like,
Right,
I always feel like you work so hard, you can't be replaced,
right,
right?
right.
And, what do you think the difference is, though, when somebody succeeds and when somebody doesn't? Because that's where I think with you specifically, and my mom and I talk about this, Steven is one of those people that 6 AM, he's up.
Mhm.
Like, you wake up like you're going to practice
Yeah,
when you go to run your business.
right,
What motivates you to do that, though? Because I think some people get into business and they think it's gonna be a cakewalk, or they think they can hire a marketing person, it's gonna just it's a light switch, and we're gonna have people lined up outside to get in
right.
this studio right here.
I always go back to my why, right? Football was what I was good at. It was never who I was. And I think a lot of times people struggle with their identity is football. So
Yeah,
they stay around the game their whole life. And there's nothing wrong with that. But my why is different. That you mentioned earlier in the podcast that I grew up in a nursing home.
yeah,
Heartland Healthcare Center is where I grew up. My mom taking care of patients. My mom was a single parent, so I slept in the living
the waiting
the
room.
waiting room.
Yeah,
I'd get up in the morning before the old folks get up and take a shower. They have those bars on the wall that's open. I'll take a shower and get dressed quick and then head to school. So I grew up there. So I served people my whole life. That's all I knew. Football and serving, right?
yep.
Push them around, take them get their hair done, bingo. Betty give me a little, don't tell your mom I gave you this
Oh, I've been
$10.
to that place.
Yeah,
Remember when
yeah.
we did
We did
some
shit. We
events
just worked
there?
there, right?
Yeah,
So I owe it to that because it created my why. And football was just something I was good at.
yeah,
So when I left the game of football, it's not about the money I made because I made great living, but what's my why and my purpose outside of the game? And
correct.
obviously, we ran the Stephen Tulloch Foundation, and giving back was always something that we always did. And so I wanted to find something that was purpose driven, community driven, and can make an impact the same way we did in the NFL. So what better way than to get into coffee? So I went home. One day I bought this building, 3-story building downtown Fort Lauderdale, and I went home one day and I said, you know what, I'm going to create a brand. What do I name it? So for $107, I bought the name Circle House Coffee on GoDaddy.
$107 is how
I bought
you
the name.
started
Yeah, how I
this.
bought the name. Then
Okay.
I went to Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter at the time, and took all the handlers and made sure I secured the name Circle House Coffee.
Right.
And then I hired my patent attorney, my trademark. We got it all done. Hired Peter to do the change of use of the building to make it from an office building to a mixed use building.
That building
Where
was very ugly when
yeah,
we
we
walked
gutted
through
it
it.
out.
It was like
Yeah,
wooden walls,
yeah, and then
1980s style. I
exactly
don't know how when I went to it, I was like, "I don't think this is it."
we did it.
And he was like, "I got the vision.
Yeah, I got
I
the
can
vision.
see where this
Yeah.
is. I can make this." And I was like,
Right.
"All right,
Knock the wall
like,
out here. We'll make a drive-through
let's
window. We take the
see."
patio.
You did.
And we created it. And it took about a year and a half to build it, but we did it. And now, we service the Dolphins. We're in the grocery stores. We do Formula One. You know what I'm saying? It's banging.
So so let's go into that because that's one of the other things I think is so important about branding,
Mhm,
as you know. Circle House Coffee is the name of the coffee shop in Florida. Almost about a year ago this week
mhm.
was when we got into the first grocery store
Yep.
with you
September
September.
last year.
It
Yep.
was the Seahawks game.
Yep.
Um, and we were in Michigan and we got into We were able to now, let me also back up relationships
Mhm.
because that's how we got into
Right,
these
sorry.
stores,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Is we throughout Operation 55 and his time playing, we partnered with Walmart, we partnered with big department stores, and the man, his name is Rob. He is the guy that I would go to, and you guys, I would fill up truckloads of Christmas gifts.
Okay,
Like
yeah.
I would hope that people didn't see me unloading this in my house because I was remember I called you, I'm like, I'm gonna get robbed. There was like 30 flat screen TVs in
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
basement. I had the whole Walmart crew following me home while he was at practice buying things for families,
Mhm,
which was a part of Operation 55. So I feel like full circle moment.
mhm,
When we started looking at this, the bags did not look this way. So I think that also ties into what you say of the process, right?
mhm,
We had a black bag with a sticker on it.
mhm.
And Rob was now at another chain called Myers, which in the Midwest is very big, almost like a Texas HEB for anybody that kind of can compare. It's like a
Right.
local chain and they have over 300 locations. And we went and did a meet and greet, and we had like what, maybe 10 cases or
Mhm.
something of
Wow.
coffee
Yeah.
gone. I mean, all the guys came out to support. Levy,
Good.
Joy, everyone came out. We launched the coffee and sold out that day almost. I think they had one case left. And that was a Saturday event, Sunday night football. I'm at the airport Monday morning and I get a call from Shannon, who we love at Meyer. Shout out to Shannon, and said, "Can you guys get into like 48 more stores in 30 days?" I was like, "Sure,
We found a way.
no problem.
Right,
We're
we
going to
found a
figure
way.
it out."
We
And I
did it.
called
We definitely did.
Steven and he was like, "What do you mean? Like, how are we going to do this?" Because this is a process to get to this. It's, if you ever have a product, it is, I mean, I feel like we can even be better on, we just updated our bags,
Mhm,
didn't we?
mhm, bags.
And, but the thing is, like, how with you and your brand, how do you ensure that authenticity doesn't ever change? Because I think when people start growing, because now you're in over 100 stores,
Right.
we're getting into Kroger, you have big campaigns going on now across the country with
Mhm.
influencers. How do you make sure though that you keep your brand voice your brand voice? Like, what do you think is so important about that for your brand to be successful?
I think I always go back to it. If you show the back of the bag, it's the why. The story in the back. So every bag that we have explains exactly, who I am and the mission that we're trying to accomplish together as a team. And at the
Yep.
bottom of the bag, as you showed it there, it says giving back one sip at a time. So the mission has always been the mission, even when I played. Right. Even when I played in the NFL, the mission was always to give back. But now we're giving back on a global stage, right? And who doesn't know? Everyone loves coffee, right? Coffee is a conversation piece. It's unique, and obviously, just being represented to have a nice, young lady on the front of on the front of the bag that just seems like love and togetherness, right? I think bringing people from all walks of life to walk this mission together to help people in need, people affected by cancer, underprivileged kids that just need opportunity.
Yeah.
And something that we didn't talk about was a school in Jamaica.
I was just gonna say when you said international,
Right.
one of the things we built was
The
a
school in
school
Jamaica.
in Jamaica.
Right.
That's still up and running now, right?
Right. So in 2017, right, we teamed up together with Helping Hands and Food for the Poor of Jamaica. We got about 35 people to fly to Miami, right? We all flew to Jamaica and we had this piece of land there. And, we built a
We
school in
built
my
a whole
mother's name,
school. It was so
Mercedes B.
cool.
Tulloch. So now there's about 180 kids that attend this school and we're looking to build another school. So
Yep.
like I saying, for us, I think
So buy the coffee so we can build a school.
right. So we're gonna build more schools. I think, and just being transparent with our customers, whoever purchases our coffee and our cold brew and supports the brand, we're real transparent on what we do and how we do it. There's
Yeah.
no hidden agenda. Like it,
No.
it all pours back in the community.
Yep.
You can see it, you can touch it, you can go visit it, and I think that's what I represent and what the brand represents.
What's one thing you wish you knew before you launched this brand?
Oh man, how hard it would be, right? And I know I understand, the grind, right? I understand it takes time to build anything, but it takes a lot of effort and energy, right? To be able to break all the layers, to just take that next step. And as you mentioned before, we started with a bag with a sticker, and then getting with Ronnie to help design the bag, and going to Seattle to chase the quality of coffee and to cup it and make sure it's the right blend, and finding our distributors, our fulfillment center in Kalamazoo, and ordering the can. Like and this you already
It's
know
a lot.
it's a lot,
Because
but
because bags and cans are different. So, I think that that's the next thing it goes me to into is once you start making sales, like your coffee shop is one of the best known coffee shops in
right.
Fort Lauderdale now. How important is it though for new business owners? And I know what I think about this to invest back into your brand.
Huh. I've never took a dollar out of my business, right? I
Okay.
make sure my staff is paid. I make sure our vendors are paid,
Yep.
and I just reinvest the money because I'm about the long term. right?
Okay.
And I'm blessed enough to be able to do that. A lot of people can't do that,
Right.
right? So, but to make sure my staff is paid, we're investing back in the business to get better bags, to get more cans, to get more distribution.
Right.
I think that's the key. If you can do that, you have a more success chance of being successful, opposed to skimming off the top, because you can't really put your best foot forward to maximize what it is. So,
I know, I feel like people cut corners, like,
yeah,
a lot,
yeah.
and I know you don't cut corners, trust me, I get yelled at a lot. But it's true, like, "Why are we doing what you do?" And
But
but it's
I
true,
think
right?
what's good about our relationship in business is accountability. Right?
Yeah.
We have thick skin. It's nothing personal. We're moving, right?
Yeah.
We play time we
Yeah, you make me cry
but
sometimes.
we know what the ultimate goal is. It's just moving the needle,
For sure.
right? And we never attack each other's personal character.
Never.
You know what I mean? Like I might
No,
go
not in
somewhere,
14
right?
years,
We
we
might go
never.
quiet for a second. We get back on. All right, let's do. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Yeah.
But it happens in business, and you want to be able to ride with people who understand that. Look, you can't have thin skin. You got to have thick skin. I learned that from football.
You
I
have
mess up
to.
on a play, coach said, "Tulloch, I need you to be here. I'm gonna be there."
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I take that same mentality from football into business, and it takes a while for people to understand that. But I think once they get on, they understand what the mission is, and they kind of follow suit.
Okay, so you said about, like, your coach tells you something and you
Right.
adjust. How do you and this is, like, what I think, but don't you feel like it starts at the top with any culture of a company? Or, like, even if you're a business that just got started and you have no employees,
Mhm.
for your own accountability? Because when I met you, I was a team of 1.
Right.
I had
Me
no
too.
team.
The garage. Right.
No, thanks. It really was. I lived in, like you guys, I lived in this one-bedroom apartment in Royal Oak, which is a suburb of Detroit, and he lived 2 blocks from me. Not only did you break in my house
Oh, the
before,
sliding door. Yeah,
you did, you broke
yeah,
with a big dog, with Nash, his one of his dogs. Um, but that was fun times. Yeah,
oh, great
that
time,
was
man. Detroit's
man,
amazing.
I feel like we've been through a lot of phases of life together,
Hmm.
like the 20s, the 30s,
Hmm.
going into our 40s.
Yeah, yeah,
We're
yeah,
both 40 now.
yeah.
Can we edit that out?
Take that part out.
Take that part out. No, I'm just kidding. But we've been through, and I feel like even in just life, you grow. But I also have seen you become such a good leader because I was never really experiencing the leadership part of you on the field, just what
Right,
your teammates
right.
respected you of. And one thing I can tell you about Tulloch, it drives me crazy, but he will never ask any of his former NFL friends for help.
Yeah,
And it
it's just something.
pisses me off
Yeah.
because if any of you football players out there that watch this on this collab reel we're going to post want some coffee and want to post it for us, tap in.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he'll never ask you. But why is that? Why don't you like
I
to
don't
do
know,
that?
man. I've always been I think first off, the greatest accomplishment of my whole career is being voted captain of the team.
Yeah.
Right. And I think leadership is not something you come into, it's something that people identify. Right? When you're consistent who you are every day, you come, you show up, you come early, you leave late, you're just consistent every day. People gravitate to that. So every off season, which now is going into the regular season, you have a meeting right before training camp ends, and they sit in a room, and the coach says, "Hey guys, we're going to vote captains. We're going to pass this paper around. We're going to pick an offensive player, defensive player, and a special teams player."
Is it like the whole team's
It's the
in
whole
one big
team. So
room?
yeah, the general manager, the owner, everybody's in the room, and they just pass it around before
What
practice.
do they pass around?
Paper. And you
Okay.
write the number that you want, the person that you want, and then we'll calculate after practice. We'll come back in here and decide who's
So it's
captain
that
of that
simple
team.
how they decide
That's it. Every
captains.
team does it.
Is this in like the big room you saw like Aiden and the guys
Yes,
singing in
that
when you
big
do
room.
that?
Yes, yeah, the
When you
auditorium.
sang as a rookie, what did you sing?
Oh man, I did other things for the rookie. They used to back in the days. It was hazing. I would
Okay, we don't have
they used to
to.
shave your
Okay.
head and all kind of.
Did you
Now,
shave your head?
yeah, I used to shave my head patches. I played the game. Yeah, it
Kind of
was
came back.
'06, right? We
Yeah.
had veterans. We had some crazy veterans in Tennessee. But it's a cool thing because it's humbling because your peers look at you as a leader,
Yeah.
right? You're not going out there saying "pick me, coach." Like they actually vote you to be that guy.
Mhm.
And so for me, I take honor in that and everything that I do, even today in the business is, I want to lead by example. I want to be able to help create other leaders, people who didn't much believe in themselves, but through the business of Circle House Coffee or the real estate that I have, they start to believe in themselves because they see growth. They're developing in their own right. I love developing people because someone helped develop me. You mentioned
Yeah.
earlier about my mom's boss, Jay Lotzbich, which is probably my hero upon hero, Jewish guy out of Miami. My mom took care of his mom at a nursing home, and he took a liking to me. Gave my first
Yep.
laptop, my first bike, put me in tutoring. He gave me opportunity that I wouldn't be here today if he wasn't in my life, quite frankly.
Wow.
So for me to be in a position of a blessed position to be able to pour back to other people, look, we're here for a time, not a long time, right? We're passing through. So for me, it's about legacy, leaving a legacy behind. What's your
Yep.
legacy when you leave Earth? Are you just here to exist, or you here to make impact? And so for me, it's about making impact.
I love that. And I think that we've made an impact. One of the things I would love to tap into that I think people want to hear is And this is gonna be a couple football questions, but you know what? This is actually I have to keep you here because we're gonna do I wanna get into football. I
Okay.
feel like people wanna hear a little bit of things that nobody gets to hear
Yeah,
that
yeah,
I know of,
yeah,
but,
yeah.
so we'll do a part 2. Is that fine?
Sounds good.
Alright, see you in a little bit.